This YCN segment is brought to you by LaValley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, and in studio this week we have Brett Franklin from ESPN Radio for the Upper Valley, 945ESPN.com, and online or on the dial 94.5 FM, 1400 AM, 1230 AM. Brett, thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, Jeremy. Nothing happening in New England sports at all.
It's so boring. We're just all here waiting for the draft to show up, and obviously the draft Thursday night. We'll get into the NFL draft. We'll get into some Red Sox ending their road trip with a couple games, 3 games in Toronto, and then also we'll jump in with the Celtics, and Boston Celtics winning Game 5, going up 3-2, 92-87. And Brett, your reactions to the game, and how do you think this series goes as we go back to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee Bucks are the favorites in Game 6 to tie this up? Probably
one of the ugliest playoff games I've witnessed here in the last couple of years. It was a defensive grind last night. It's even hard to fathom the Celtics could get to 92 points last night. But Marcus Smart was the big energizer last night coming off the bench, holding the Bucks to, I believe, under 35% shooting from the field. Credit Brad Stevens, another great coaching decisions, has Semi Ojeleye get the start, his first ever career start, and he holds Giannis Antetokounmpo to a series-low 16 points last night. So it was defense, which has carried the Celtics pretty much the entire season, but it was really on full display last night. Wasn't pretty, but they do get the win. They get the win. Horford leading the team with 22 points. Rozier kind of in a bounce-back game after being quiet in the 2 games in Milwaukee, and then Brown with 14 points. So do you think the Celtics can win it in Game 6, or do you think it's going to take Game 7 back at the TD Garden to get the win in 7? I originally had this series going 7, so I'll stay with it. But the home team has won every game so far. And you look at from the Bucks' perspective, if you're a Milwaukee fan, it's like, boy, could we have gotten anybody to step up last night other than Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton. Other than that, nobody did anything last night. So I do expect the Bucks to play better at home, but I do think the Celtics wrap it up in 7 when they get it back to the TD Garden. Yeah, I agree with you. It's just so tough to win on the road in the NBA. We've seen it in a couple series, but so far nothing like it in this series. And then the next round of the playoffs, if they do make it, face off against the 76ers, who dispatched the Miami Heat. And that brings me to my next question. And I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves because this season isn't even over, but I think we both agree that the Celtics will struggle to get out of the next round. It'll be a matchup against the 76ers. So as we sit today, 76ers probably the favorite in this series only because of the injuries on the Celtics. But going forward next year, with the Celtics getting their players back, do they bump up to the favorites? Obviously, depends on what LeBron James does. But the 76ers, they're coming on strong. Yeah, I mean, it's, you look at the 76ers, they're a fun young team, right? I mean, you got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. They've been playing really well. 16 in a row they won to close out the regular season. I do think the Celtics will get into a buzzsaw when they play the 76ers in that second round. They can win a game or two. I don't think they'll be swept, but Phillies is really good. Now, looking at next year, if everybody's healthy, if Kyrie's good, if Gordon Hayward's there, the Celtics are undoubtedly, I think, the favorite because I don't see LeBron James coming to any Eastern Conference team, to be quite honest. I think he does go to a Western Conference team. But it'll be interesting to see. The Celtics, though, will be the Eastern Conference favorites coming into next season, that's for sure. Okay, and I know, there's a lot that has to be decided, obviously, the LeBron James thing, and not to throw, the pessimism out there, but could the Celtics window be closing? And I know that sounds crazy. It's not even been open that long, but you wonder, they might not have Marcus Smart back. Horford could be gone after next year, depending on what he decides. The 76ers getting that much better. No, it's not panic. I'm not saying they're, but they do have some competition, like I said, with the 76ers team. And I know you don't think LeBron goes there, but if he does, then we're in big trouble. Yeah, I really have a hard time seeing LeBron go to Philadelphia. Why would you bring in a guy who's going to want the ball to go through him and basically kind of stunt the growth of some of the younger guys? Not that it's not intriguing for him, but yeah, I think the Celtics, there are some questions going in. Where's Toronto after next year as well? But I think the Celtics, the next 2 years, I think, yeah, they definitely got a shot here in the next 2 years to try and get to the finals.
Yeah, I think 2 years is kind of their shot. Next year, Hayward being back, and then the following year, obviously depends on what LeBron does. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about that with LeBron James in the offseason. Celtics up 3-2, trying to close out the series. We'll take a break. We'll get over to the Red Sox. They are finishing up a road trip in Toronto. Talk about them dropping the first one. They have 2 more. Try and end on a positive note. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.